Hello, good evening. Hi, Bhumika. Hi, Neharika. Hello, Kenneth. Hi, Nikita. Hi, Thea. Hi, Faizan. Hello, Harvinder. Hi, Sitaram. Faith. Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Sidish. I'm doing fine. How are
All
you?
right. How's your Friday going on?
It's going great.
All right. I'm glad you're here on a Friday, which is great. Okay. And uh, give me a second. I'm going to turn on my video here. Can you all see me?
Yes.
All right. If it's Friday and if you're still here, it's something very important. And I'm excited of Fridays always. And I've always been and got some plans after this training. Going to catch up with some friends and do some activities and have a fun-filled Friday, right?
Are we
Hi, Ali.
invited?
I'm sorry.
Are we invited?
Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yeah. Always ready for a Friday party, right?
Okay, good.
I'm glad you're here and everybody's here. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to the third session of IT Business Analyst Training. My name is Sudesh Anand and I'm the lead mentor and founder of Lead Techno IT Training and Staffing Company. So we provide IT staffing services in US and Canada. And we also help people move into niche technologies like ServiceNow Business Analyst, Cloud Data Engineering, Cloud DevOps, cloud engineering, cloud security, and cyber security. I only work in very few careers on the training side because we only work on the careers where folks can find themselves in a job in 0 to 4 months. So if you're here, it's very important, and I'm super excited for you. So how was the last two sessions for the folks who are attending here? How was the last two sessions? Was it something you guys were learning?
Yes, honestly, the last session was really good. I would say that I'm now getting the hang of everything, so it was really good. Yeah. And I
Thank
was
you.
able to read that as well, the
Yeah.
recordings.
Oh, you went through the recordings too?
Yes, I did. I do
That's
have
good.
a question about that. I don't know if I
Yeah,
should get into it now.
no problem. Take it easy. Go for it.
Okay, so you said in the last class, right? You said that aside from the recordings and the materials that you give to us, we're not going to need to study anything else. So
Yeah.
does that mean that if I keep studying, because I like to study everything, I want to be sure that I'm ready and active. So does that mean I don't need to study anything outside of our classes? And if I do study all the materials and resources that you give to us, that's enough for me to actually get a job?
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
meant. And
that's perfect.
I'm very particular about it. And that's a great question you asked me there. The reason why I'm saying is when I was trying to become a BA, there was a lot of content in Google, a lot of content in YouTube and everywhere. And I was thinking that, if I study that, that's more than enough, right? But
Yeah,
actually, they only give you a definition of it. They are only teaching you some concepts, but really they're not job centric. And
mhm,
BA is around for the last 25 years, this job, and 20, 25 years it's been around, and it's a pretty matured career. And there's a lot of content. There are writers who have written books into it, and
mhm.
what interview people don't want are the folks who sound like from the book, right?
Yeah,
We're and that's where the rookies do the mistake. You know what I mean when I say rookies, right?
yeah,
The new guys who are moving into IT, it's not just about learning concept, but it's also about learning, how to use these tools and concepts into the job. In our training, some of you guys that have known about my training already, like Harvinder and Bhumika, these guys have seen my training before. We're only learning, and some Sitaram also, I guess, and we are only learning tools and process and procedures how to approach certain case studies on a real world basis. All right. The goal is to prepare you for the interview and also for the job. And I only want you to focus what I am teaching you and on the concepts which I am teaching. Then you can go and study on that topics. That's okay. That's all right. Okay, and that you have to do some self learning there. But outside the topics which I'm discussing, I recommend you not to go around browsing. It's so easy to get lost.
okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. And hello, Nikki. Hello, Sita. Everybody's here. Thank you. So I'm going to go back, and today is Friday. So I want to have a short session without taking too much time of you guys. And thank you so much for coming. Do want to give you a little bit of recap on what we did in the last session. We pretty much we went through last session. We went through the requirements, trying to understand how to approach a business problem. Right. As a BA, one of the most important activities is to understand the client's problem, do an analysis on it, and document it and deliver to the developers and make sure that those features are deployed. So we did a high level understanding. What I want to tell you is I'm continuing to do a high level understanding because it's very important for me to lay the foundation strong. It's important for me to help you guys understand how a BA job will look like, and then slowly go into various concepts. Okay, and I will review through the course curriculum again today by the end of the session so that you'll know what are you going to get out of this session. And today, what I want to talk about is, we also had some case study. A lot of guys did an amazing job analyzing through the case study and letting me know what is the problem statement, what could be the possible solutions, and that was amazing. A lot of participation. It was great. Today, what I want to talk about is help you guys understand how a day of a business analyst will look like. It's very important. We understand that, oh, you know what, BA is a kind of a is a bridge between the user community, the stakeholders, and the IT. All of those things are good, okay, but we really need to get into the weeds of it. We really need to understand what this role is all about, because people, and when you come to the interviews, they expect you to know this role works individually as an individual contributor, and you also work in a team environment. So it's very important for you to understand the sequence of activities a BAs will do, okay, in a real world basis. The more you understand the real world, what are the different jobs we have to do, different activities and tasks we have to do, you will understand where, in which phase of the software development life cycle, what tools to use, and when to use it, and what kind of documents to document, and at what phase of the software development life cycle, what kind of documentation we need to use it, and according to the software development life cycle, what are your roles. All of those things you have to understand, right? And that's when you'll know you'll be ahead of your game. That's very, very important. So today I want to discuss and help you understand, starting from the first slide. I want to talk about when you finish studies in IT business analyst training. I know some colleges are even making the folks study for 1 year. I'm not telling you it's bad idea. Going to college and study, it's okay. But really what is important for you to understand is real world scenarios, systems and applications and documentations, and people engagement. How are we going to use it? What you're going to see is once you finish your studies and you go into the job market, these are the various kind of roles you will see where a BA role can fit in. IT business analyst roles, technical business analyst role, business systems analyst role, data analyst with a combination of business analyst on the business side, process analyst, product owners, requirements engineers, systems analyst. What I want to tell you is there are different kind of job titles for this role. BA business analyst is a practice, okay, and you will see that looking at the title, just don't move away fast. Go through the job description. If you're able to relate up to 50 to 60% of the job description, you must apply for it, okay. And by end of this training, we I also conduct a workshop, an interview prep workshop, where we extensively go through this and we give you the understanding to see how you can approach it, okay. And because you will see that by end of the training you will have a very good clarity, okay, how to approach a business systems analyst role. A business systems analyst role is a kind of a superior role than a BA role because they engage with, they have a specialization on systems, all right. um, and when I say system specialization, it's not a coding job. They specialize on platforms like ServiceNow, Salesforce, Pega, Guidewire, and many more, right? In my training, what I do is I start preparing you as a BA first, all right? And I want you to learn the BA framework, okay, and the tools and techniques and tactics and everything, then you will learn the ServiceNow platform. Okay. And once you learn the ServiceNow platform as a BA, you will know, okay, if there's a project coming in this platform, how, as a business systems analyst, how are you going to engage with the requirements? How are you going to document it? How are you going to document the technical requirements? How are you going to deploy it? All that kind of deployment knowledge and release management knowledge you will know. So this is very critical. What I'm trying to help you understand is I will be making you a product based business analyst. That's very, very important for me because a product based business analyst can secure a job in 0 to 4 months. If you do only business analyst, your average wait time can go higher. I was even speaking to, I think I was speaking to some of our students, they were asking me questions. Why do I have to specialize in a system? Why can't I just go for a BA? Becoming BA is not a difficult thing. It's very easy. It's not very challenging. Okay, if you have a good interview handling skills and if you know how to explain your projects very well, capstone projects, you're fine. You're able to crack in. But that's not a sustainable thing. If you are a BA, you're just doing a firefighting. What I want is I'm not want you guys to do firefighting. I want you guys to have a career which is good for the next 10 years. For that, we need to have a future technology in your resume. So that is why we're going to learn ServiceNow. And when I say ServiceNow tool, it is a cloud-based platform where we provide IT services in cloud, and which reduces the cost of operations for organizations a lot. So a lot of organizations are going into ServiceNow. There's a lot of deployment are going on. So I will be specializing you. We give you case studies, interview questions, everything based on ServiceNow. We do a lot of case studies on ServiceNow in this training, so you will really understand how to approach that ecosystem. There are very targeted studies required in a service now. Apart from BA, we will teach you how to, you will learn how to configure, how to be an administrator in a ServiceNow platform. And you will know, learn some modules like HRSD modules, ITBM, IT business management, SPM, strategic portfolio management, how to document requirements in a ServiceNow ecosystem, and how to do deployment, pre-sales activities, post-sales activities. All of those things are going to help you become a wonderful consultant. So I want to set you up for success. So you kind of see that this kind of roles. Now, I'm going to talk about a BA role on a high level. Okay. Then we're going to go much deeper into this. Okay. And I can guarantee you this, after this session today, you are going to be very confident about to understand, okay, what is the kind of role, and what am I getting into? My intention is not to scare you or not to overwhelm you. I strongly believe that, because I have done it, I moved from non-IT to IT career myself. I had my own fears like, oh my God, it sounds like an IT job. Can I do it or not? There are a lot of fears. Like, fear is always coming from unknown. The things which you do not know can scare you, which is fine. So you need a mentor to help you in this role, and that's why I'm here. I want to tell you, if you're not from IT, you've never been in IT, and you're already like biting your, teeth, and you're wondering, oh my God, what I'm going to do. I want to tell you that I'm going to be there throughout this journey, and I'm going to make this very, very easy for you. It is very doable, practically possible, and you need to follow my mentorship, and I want you to have an open mind, and that's all I need. And rest I can take care of that. You should open mind. You're ready to learn, and you're ready to put your hard work, because the studying part is organic. As long as you're ready, I am ready here. Okay. All right. Let's go. So the role of IT business analyst. I also, before I start, I want to tell you the first few sessions might sound like theory. Okay. It is an analyst job, guys. This is not a data analyst job where you sit on a data sheet and go, boom, you send your reports. No, it's an analyst job. Most of the times you're working as an individual contributor. Okay, there are very few tools over here, but you need to know what to do when. Okay, you need to know a lot of moving parts here in the Agile Scrum framework. You got to understand the role. So I will be doing a combination of theory and practicals, and a lot of documentations and everything. It will be a combination of everything. The role is, idea is to make you think like a BA and work like a BA. All right. The key activities is, like many of them said, it as a BA, you act as a bridge between IT and business departments to understand each other's needs, constraints, and context. And we're going to continue to look into that as you approach as a business. When you approach a business and trying to do analysis on their process to understand what's wrong with the department, what is the pressing need, what is the bottleneck issue, you are not only trying to understand the challenges, the constraints, you also have to be very focused on identifying where is the exact problem is coming up from. And that you can only understand while be talking to people, talking to different kind of stakeholders who will give you different kind of inputs, and you put it all together, and then you bring it to your team, and then they start researching and understanding more on that. So prioritizing requirements and defining the scope of change. One of the important part of the requirements is prioritizing requirements. And when I want to talk about prioritizing requirement, let me help you understand in the most easy way. How many of you guys go for shopping groceries for your house? How many of you do that? You go to shopping center, go grocery shopping. How many of you do that? Faith does it, Sitaram does it, and Adi does it, Niharika does it. What about you, Kenneth, Faizan, Ali, Faith? And everybody does it, right? Good. What the reason why I want to talk about is I will be bringing very simple analogies for you guys to understand it. When we are looking at a task, we're going for shopping, when we go out, we start prioritizing what are the various things we want to do when we go out, right? We decide like, okay, when I'm going to go out, first I'm going to buy some veggies, then I want to buy some meat, or want to buy some, and on the way we'll grab some coffee. You prioritize things, what do you want to do first, what do you want to do second, what do you want to do third, why are you prioritizing? Can somebody tell me why are you prioritizing things when you go to a task, to do a shopping or do whatever? Why are you prioritizing it?
So we don't miss our important things to buy, and we don't do unnecessary shopping. Like if
Okay.
we want to buy something, let's say apple, and we don't come back without apple and buy the oranges and bring the oranges at home.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Anybody else? What is your take on it? Why do you want to prioritize? You're going for a vacation, okay, and you're planning on your budget. You want to go which destination you want to go. You want deciding where you want to go first, where you want to go later, and everything. Stay and everything. Why are you prioritizing it? Can somebody tell me more? I want to hear from everybody. I want to get some more input. Why are you prioritizing? Why prioritization is very important for you?
All right,
So we
because
don't,
because there's a difference between want and need.
Okay, very good.
Because if
Wanted.
you do not prioritize it, you just get
Yeah.
what you want. At the end of the day, it will be useless to you.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. Well said, Kenneth. Well said. Well said. Neharika, what do you think?
Yeah, if we prioritize things, we don't waste time and money.
Yeah, very good.
Mm.
And I also add that by prioritizing, you understand what is important versus urgent, right? You understand
Yeah.
what you wanted right away. Everything is important, but you are able to understand what is urgent for you, what you need first, what you need later. Correct?
Yes. Like
Can we all agree
in the
with that?
previous session, you said like in scope and out scope, like which is
Yeah.
urgent now, which should be finished now, and which can be done later as well.
Exactly. As a BA, when you go into a work, when you go into a project, you'll have multiple projects in front of you. Okay. Everything will sound like important, but there is not everything is urgent. Okay. So as a consultant, it's very important for you to understand because you will be handling multiple stakeholders, multiple projects. It's very important for you to understand the importance between urgent versus important. Okay. Likewise, when we are collecting requirements, when I say requirements, we are trying to make a wish list of clients. Okay. The clients are saying, I want this feature, I want the user to do that, I want to do this, I want the user to download the statement, I want the user to go in and update their records, I want the user to go in and process an order. So they want a lot of user functionalities. Let's say assume that you are documenting it. Okay. Well, we have documented, let's say, 10 requirements. Okay. We go into a process called as prioritization. Prioritization means we try to understand which requirement has the most business value. Business value means which is most important for the client. And who knows that better is going to be a BA, because right from the beginning of the project, you're working with the product owners, business stakeholders a lot. Okay, so prioritization technique, and we will be doing that, and I will be doing a sample case study to help you understand how do the prioritization is done and who does it for us, and what is your role in it. To help you understand in a small nutshell, it's not like you collected the requirements and you gave it to the developer. It's not like that. Documentation is an art. Collecting all the requirements is one thing, but let's say if you miss out any requirement, it's okay, don't freak out. You can always come back. You can, the requirements can be added. There's nothing to worry about it. But what I want to tell you is prioritization is where a BAs play a vital role while telling the product team that why these requirements the client wanted first. Why are these functionalities are important for the client? Because we want the business to go on. Back in the days when we are doing software development lifecycle, each project used to go for 1.5 years and 2 years. By the time the features are coming out, the market has already moved up, and that's why many software development lifecycle has failed. And today, the Scrum framework in Agile is pretty popular because we are able to help work very closely with the stakeholders, and they're able to see exactly what we are building, and we are interacting with them and day in and day out. So your role is more dynamic today than ever. So it's very important to understand why these requirements are important for the client, and which are the requirements client wanted first, okay, and which they wanted last. And while we do that, this is where we come in. We try to define the scope. We're trying to understand which are in scope, what are out scope, and what is the solution we are planning for the project. All of those things follows up after this. Elicit business requirements from business stakeholders. Role of a BA. These are the key activities the BAs will do it. We are not talking about what QAs will do. We are not talking about what developers will do. You are all in the same team, but everybody has a role to play. Our role is to elicit the requirements, which means capturing the requirements, gathering the requirements. Okay, refining the requirements, making sure that this is the final requirement is what I say, it will say a progressive method. For example, let's say this weekend you happen to catch up with your friends. You met five, six, seven friends. Every time we meet up, what's going to happen? We start deciding, hey, we should travel somewhere together, everybody. And we were like, yeah, why not? Let's go. But if you see, when we decide to go for a trip or something, it's a very simple idea. It's just a high level requirement that we let's all come together and let's go to let's say a beautiful destination in, let's say, Mexico. And everybody decided, okay, let's go Mexico. Now that's a high level statement. Okay, now we're going to break it down, and that's where the BA comes in. And we understood the high level statement that we are all going to for Mexico, but now what we really want to start gathering is what are we going to do in Mexico. That's where the user requirement comes in. So a BA's work is to start breaking down, ask more questions to the user community, ask more questions to the stakeholders. Okay, what are you going to do in Mexico? What are the activities you want to do? What are the, what is your budget? Okay, and which restaurant do you want to stay? I mean, I'm just giving a hypothetical example that a requirement is an ongoing process, a refinement process, okay, where it gets refined and refined and refined, and by the end, you will have a very clear-cut understanding of what exactly the requirement wants. So it's an ongoing process, okay, and that is why you have to understand this. And I will show you a lot of examples. We will do practically when we document the requirement, how to refine it. And how do you refine it? Because you're going to have a lot of your team members are going to give suggestions. Your product owners are giving a suggestion. Every time you guys meet up in a meeting, suggestions will come in and they will decide whether this requirement is feasible. Is it possible for us to develop it? Is it possible for us to implement it? Do we have the technology to build it? Do we have the consultants to take care of it? All of those things come in place, and that's why requirement is an ongoing process where it continues to go refined until we have the final requirement. That's finalization. Analyzing the requirement, modeling the requirements, creating solution, and specifying requirements, specific requirements. So BAs play a vital role that, analyzing the requirements. The first kind of analyzing is we collect all the requirements. We can't analyze the requirements in front of the stakeholders, so bring it to your cubicle and you go through all the requirements. You start understanding, okay, where are these requirements coming up, what kind of systems are they, and we start organizing them in a document, in an Excel format or a Word document or whatever. And we also create a lot of diagrams too, because you have to understand, as a BA, you have to be very visual. Okay, so you will be creating UML diagrams, like process flow diagrams, sequence diagram, state diagrams, system diagrams, data flow diagrams, okay, data modeling diagrams, entity relationship diagram. There are few diagrams which are so important that the chances of doing is almost 90%. We're going to learn all those UML diagrams one by one. Okay, so those modeling diagrams are also a way of doing analysis. Okay, we do that and we clarify that, we try to validate them with the clients. Okay, and we are not creating solutions, but we helping the solution architects, by clarifying their doubts with the business process, and we help them come up with a solution. We are not the ones who are finding the solution. There are solution architects who will take care of it. Okay, verify and validate required specification with business stakeholders. As we're going back and forth between the business stakeholders and the IT teams, right? We are trying to validate based on the meetings, like, are you okay with this requirement? Is there anything else do you want to add? And we want to make sure the users or user community are 100% they're agreeing to what we're trying to build, because there will be an interview question. They'll ask you, what if the user says, this is not what I asked for, what are you going to do? So you never want, it's a nightmare, you never want to be in that situation. So we want to have a certain kind of validation from the client. Today we are in an agile scrum framework where there is not a standard much of an approval process unless you're working in a hybrid project. We will talk more on that. So collaborate with IT stakeholders, with developers and QA teams to implement the requirements. So once you have documented the requirements are finalized. Once the developers have understood the requirements, they have realized that, okay, yeah, we're going to go and build it. We call it something called definition of done, which means that, okay, we have all the capabilities, systems, technology stack to build this particular feature. So yes, we can go ahead and implement it. So you need to make sure the developers understand. There will be a question: how will you run down the requirements to the developers? How will we help the QAs understand the requirements? So there are a particular framework, a set of activities BAs are doing in this particular stage of the software development lifecycle, which will also come there. We will learn. So my way of teaching you will be based on the software development lifecycle, right from inception to requirements planning to designing to development to testing, UAT testing and deployment. So we're going to learn on stages one by one. So we will not jump into a future topic right away. We don't do that because a lot of people cannot relate to it. So I got to take you guys gradually. Support all the stakeholders for any functional queries related to IT system. Because as a BA, you're working right from the beginning of the project, you will have a very good understanding of the business problem about the project. So you will become a subject matter expert. You have to become a subject matter expert. So this is why there is no catch up game. You can only succeed in the projects when you understand the project, the definition of the project, the scope of the project, the vision of the project. When you understand business of the business, you know what you need to deliver. You know, as a BA, what are your key responsibility? Where are you becoming are you playing a pivotal role in the organization, in the department, right? You should know, you should have a very good clarity about it. Okay, that's when you can succeed. So for you to understand, find answers, you got to understand the problem of the business particular project, and there is a method to do it, and we will approach it starting Monday. We are going to get into that. Okay, there is a top 5 reasons why you should become an IT business analyst, because it's an interesting job profile. There is a continuous flow of new requirements you'll be working with. There's always there are projects which are coming up. Of IT projects are coming in various domains. There's always jobs coming up. There's a constant collaboration with different teams. There are a lot of new projects coming in different sectors. So there's always a lot of requirement there. job satisfaction by driving the whole change with ownership. You will see that you started with an idea and your requirements have become a physical features. It builds into system and eventually somebody's using it, gives you a lot of satisfaction. And that is why you will see this is a kind of a job where you get to make a lot of money still with a lot of job satisfaction, right? And I have been working in this field for quite a while, and it's always a great experience when we finish a project. Gives a lot of satisfaction. Asset to organization and job security. An ITBA is a true asset to organizations because of the importance of a role and valuable function and knowledge of the business and IT systems. Your role is a very important role. If you ever feel like, I want to do something defining in my life, I want to do something where I feel great about myself, proud about myself, and this is one of the careers in IT where you can start off your career because there are many other careers we do, but they have prerequisites. But if you are from absolutely non-IT background, this is a great place to start because you're going to become a techno-functional consultant. A good IT BA stays longer in the organization, and it's hard to replace because when you're going in an organization, you start learning how to work with them. You understand the businesses, different businesses, stakeholders. You know who to reach out to if you have any questions. You know people from marketing team, from customer experience team, product team, business teams, managers. So much of connection, which makes you a great asset for a project. Okay, so people don't let go so easily, especially if you are a product based BA. Like I said, Salesforce BA, ServiceNow BA. Guidewire BA. These are product-based BA. All right. A good IT BA stays longer. No threat for AI since the role requires forward thinking and human intelligence. A lot of people ask me, so do you think thank you. So a lot of people ask me, do you think AI will replace business analysts? I want to tell you, I use AI in my business. Okay, I have an apart from having AI assistants, sorry, physical human assistants. I also have a AI agent too. We have an AI integration. All our ad campaigns run in AI integrations. Our website is all AI chatbots. AI brings a lot of convenience. So as a BA, how do I transition forward? AI is here, but what I want to tell you is don't freak out. AI is here, but we really don't know what are the tools to be used um, from the product point of view. A lot of products are only starting to implement AI right now, integrate, and they are trying to understand how it's going to come out. They know that it's going to bring convenience, but how? As a BA, what you want to do is this ServiceNow product knowledge with BA, it's going to make you give you the engineering role. Okay, it's a ServiceNow BA is an engineering role. Because you're going to become a product base, and ServiceNow is a cloud product, so it's going to become an AI product. AI engineering. There's a lot of integrations are happening. So what you want to do is down this year, ServiceNow runs on two platforms. One is AWS and another one is Azure. So you want to take certification in one of these platforms, and you will understand the architecture of how it works. So you need to do a Gen AI certification, either in Microsoft Azure or AWS. These are the two platforms this tool is working. So you will understand how it works. As a BA, like I said, you don't need to know coding, but you need to understand how the application, if integrates with AI, what kind of features, benefits we are going to get. That much of knowledge we need to know. As a BA, you have to understand you are pretty much a jack of all trades. That's why you see a lot of BA jobs will have different kind of specifications. As long as we know the framework of how to deploy it, and and you are focusing on one product, that's not possible for you to learn Salesforce, ServiceNow, Guidewire, Pega, everything at the same time. It's not possible. So it's very important for you to find your niche, and you want to find a product which is new and which is dynamic in its future. And that way, if I say ServiceNow is the right use case for you to, jump in, right? Okay, let's go back, right? All right. Of course, the pay is very good, and I talked about it. In US, the pay usually starts from 120, and in Canada, we're looking at from 95 to 110 to 120. There's a lot of difference because of the job market. All right. So strong demand for IT BA jobs in the market. There's always been a good demand, and it's never going down because of the software development life cycle. A lot of software development is going on, a lot of products deployment is going on. You can become a sector domain based BA, you can also become a system based BA, but I always suggest you to become a system based BA because ServiceNow is deployed in all the sectors, so you can go into any sector. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I did it in my career, and I don't see any job issues I face at all. So there is a 10% projected growth by 2032 just for BA. But if you become a ServiceNow BA, you are a hot commodity in the job market, and it's great. Career growth, a wide range of career options for BA, to management, to C level, to executives. So a lot of business analysts also move towards business side as directors. Okay, so it's a leadership role. From BA, you can become a project manager. You can become a senior BA manager. You can become a release manager. Some of them will continue to go into many other applications and domain centric consultants also. So it is a lot of scope into it. You really have to look into it. There are tools which you need to have. Yes, Syed, go ahead.
What are C-level executives?
You're talking with VPs, or you could be chairmen, you could be talking to the board of directors if you're in a senior level. Okay, but at an intermediate B level, you're not. But if you're at a senior BA level, at a project manager level, you're only talking to sponsors. Got it? Hey, Syed, I think I tried to call you today. I'm not sure we have your right phone number.
At
Okay.
what time?
I think somewhere around the 11 o'clock. It says the number was not correct. You might want to just text Thea on a private chat your number. I wanted to get connected with you. I think I called you on your phone number. We have an incorrect number, I guess. You might want to look into that. Okay.
I would appreciate if you can send me an email.
We
I
have
will
your
just,
email.
yeah,
Yeah, we have
I
your
will
email.
just reply back my number, and it will be
Okay.
great if you can
Sure,
meet.
sure.
I want to call you. I mean, have discussed
Yeah.
something with you.
Yeah, because I remember I told you the last session I will call you, and I called you, and then I kind of figured that we don't have the right number with us. But I think
Sure.
are you getting emails from us?
Yeah, I'm getting email.
Okay, then that's not an issue. We can connect over that. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. See, at an intermediate BA level, you're not engaging with board of directors and sponsors. That's not your job. PMs will take care of it. Okay, we only engage with managers on the business side and stakeholders who can give requirements for us at an intermediate level. But when you're a senior manager level, there are some projects you work as a PM too, as a project, but then you speak to sponsors because what happens is that's a great question you asked me there, Syed. That reminds me of something. See, you are hired in many projects even before the budget is approved. So you're working with the team to find a solution for the business problem. Then you have to present the solution to the sponsors, and if they agree with the solution, they will approve the budget, and you have a project. So that is a standard practice in many places. But if you are working for the client itself, it's a different kind of conversation. But mostly, a project will not kick off unless they have a proper solution, and the folks who are approving the budget, they are really agreeing. All the parties are agreeing that okay, this is a great solution, let's go ahead and do it. Only then you will see the budget is getting approved, and that's a very important role we are working as a BA, and that's one of the reasons we will be hired very early on in the project. Okay, there are standard tools which we should have a good understanding before going into a job. You can have a look here. Most of the organizations, they use the Microsoft suite of products. Okay, so Word, you'll be using Word, Excel, big time. PowerPoint presentation. BA's job is a lot into presentations, so we will be doing a lot of presentations. So it's very important for us to know how to present it in PowerPoint, because you are presenting your findings to your managers and your project team. So you should get hands-on with PowerPoint. OneDrive is nothing but a cloud storage. You should understand how storage works. Outlook, emails, calendars, how to book meetings, all the stuff. And then obviously you'll have Skype. There are a couple of chat kind of, in IT world, we chat a lot than just giving a phone call. So you will be having a messenger and stuff like that. From the Google Workspace, you have requirement docs, worksheets, slides for presentations, Google Drive, Gmail Business, Google Meet, that's on the side. Then we have Zoom meeting and all stuff like that. So these are the basic tools which we want to have a good understanding. So this is an architecture diagram I have over here. I want to show how the ecosystem works and how a BA is engaging with everybody over here. You see the BA role is over here. Okay, we are engaging with the business stakeholders and we are also engaging with the IT stakeholders. When we look into the business side, we see there are business processes and there are business rules. Business rules are like guidelines which you do not want to cross, and we want to be very cognizant about what are the business rules. Okay, and we want to document that, and when we capture requirement documentation requirements, you will understand what those things are. Then we're talking about, when you look into the business side, we're looking at enterprise business policies and procedures. So when you're trying to understand a business process analysis, you're trying to understand a business process, what kind of transactions they do, what kind of systems they do. You are trying to understand the different kind of activities the users do on the business side. So you will come across the policies and procedures, business rules. So you cannot ignore those things. These are very, very important. These are the critical informations which you're documenting also, and you're delivering to your development team, because or else they will not know. See, it is not developers' job to meet the stakeholders. It is not the QA's job, quality testing engineers, to do the requirements management job. It is not the PM's job. It is your job. If you don't, you are the eyes and ears of the requirements management, and you are the manager of requirements management. So it's your role to have a 360-degree eye on it. You need to ask them while clarifying, are there any fixed business rules that I need to be aware of? Are there any business policies which I need to be aware of? And things like that you need to know. And if you look at the bottom, there are external stakeholders, the red human beings over here. There are external stakeholders. It is very important for you to identify who your stakeholders are. They internal stakeholders or external stakeholders? Can somebody give me an example of what is the difference between internal stakeholders and external stakeholder? Can somebody give me a small example, whatever you think is right?
The internal
Anybody?
stakeholders could be like your product owner, some people in the business team, and
Yeah,
external stakeholders would be the like end users, clients, customers, which for whom we are providing the service. So these are
yeah.
external stakeholders. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sita. Good one.
No problem.
Hello, Nikita. Yes, Nikita, go ahead.
So external, sorry, the internal group stakeholders are basically those who have interest in the company and or in the business, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the external, like they would be like the management, the employees who are part of the
yeah,
company. Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
the external would be the back end of company, basically. The suppliers, the creditors,
yeah,
customers, the
yeah.
community at large, that might be the ones.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, Sayed.
Yes, in my opinion, for example, if we took an example of a bank, so in a bank, the internal stakeholders are like the compliance officers, and if we talk about the external stakeholders, are maybe the vendors or retail banking source which we are getting the data from.
Yeah, yeah. So it is very important. Thank you so much. That was a great explanation. I'm sure you guys are around, have a work experience there, which is your experience is talking there. I see that. Very good. So that's great. It's very important when you go into a project, you want to know who's your user. One of the interview questions will be, when you talk about project, they're going to ask you who's the user. If you don't know the user, your interview is done. It's finished. Because when we explain projects, which we're going to discuss over here, you need to know who the user is. Okay, because you are working on user requirements, you are building systems for the users. So it's very important for us. We want to know who the user is. When we talk about stakeholders, we want to know, when I say user, user means the person who's going to use the particular application. When I say stakeholders, it means that, not only the user system, but somebody who's got direct interest into it. Okay, and we want to know, identify who are these folks are. Okay, now let's look on the IT side. Your IT stakeholders are your project team, your PMs, your developers, your testers, your managers, your IT directors. All of those guys are your IT stakeholders. When you look up a little bit, you see project management tools. In project management, there is, sorry about this. In project management, there is on the IT side and it's also on the business side. Okay, and you will be engaging with project administrators who will be creating project IDs for you. It's their role. Okay, so it's and these are the project management which both the business holders side and the IT guys will be connected with. Okay, we use a lot of tools. We use a lot of their shared drives and etc. Then we talk about IT infrastructure, servers and databases. So as an IT team, you don't have to know about IT infrastructure as at a BA level, okay? But you will have your technical friends in your team who will have a very good idea. Yeah, please mute yourself. Okay, you will have your team who will have a very good understanding of what kind of architecture a particular, say, a server or database will be there. Let me show you an architecture diagram. Give me a second here. Sorry about it. Just bear with me for a second here. This is an architecture diagram. Okay, we don't have to know anything about it. I'm just going to show you. These are the blue boxes are different applications. The green boxes over here, these are the cylinders. You look like these are databases. Okay, and there's a bigger database here, pink color. It's nothing but these lines are showing how these applications are connected to each other. All of these applications which are in this rectangular boxes are connected to a database. Every application will be connected to a database. Just for an example, I'll show you. We as a BA, we don't have to worry about this, but this is how your developers will be looking at. This is how your solution architect will be looking at. They will have a very good idea, in an organization, where is this application, which database it is connected. All of those things they will know. It's not for you to worry about, okay? But I just want to let you know that this is how an architecture diagram will look like, and that's what you find in the infrastructure. There are infrastructure architects in your project. They are very technical guys, and there are solution architects. So when you come across when you bring the requirements, what are the user requirements, what kind of system we want to bring in, what kind of system we want to build, what kind of application we want to build, your solution architect, infrastructure architects, they are the technical guys. They will plan based on the current IT stack, based on the current infrastructure what we have. How are we going to build this? Which database can we connect this? Okay, there is front end, there is middleware, and then this backend. We will talk about that later on. But what I want to tell you is there's an IT team, they'll take care of it. But as a BA, you don't have to worry about it. Then we're talking about IT systems, knowledge base, and document repository. And we have our own project documents where we save all our documents and system knowledge and everything. You will also have access to that. Then we're talking about IT systems and software applications. Okay, IT teams there are two kinds of projects will you see as a BA. One is IT infrastructure projects, and then you will have business projects. When I say business projects, we are talking about sales department. There's a project coming up from a sales department. There is a project coming from this customer care department. There's a project coming from finance department. There's a project coming from payroll department, marketing department. These are business related, business side. Okay. IT team's role is to make sure we are the backbone of the organization, and we want to make sure the systems, the applications which are used to do day-to-day business to generate revenue or whatever it is, we want the applications to go up and running all the time. System should not, that is our only job. And we also want to make sure that we continuously improve the architecture, the IT architecture. Okay. And you would, that is where you will see ServiceNow coming in. ServiceNow is an IT tool, it's an architecture tool, right? So having an architecture project in your resume makes you a very in-demand business analyst. Okay, and that's why we're talking about it. We're not making a business. I'm making you a IT infrastructure, a product knowledge B over here. So as a IT team members, they will be making sure that they continue to revamp and make the IT systems robust. So there will be a lot of projects coming from the IT side also, and those are called as IT infrastructure projects. So you as a BA, you might be working in IT infrastructure projects, or you'll be working in the business side. But do I need to know coding for it? No, sir. You don't have to know coding. You only have to understand why are you doing this project, for which application. For example, let me give you an example for an IT infrastructure project. Let's say an organization is using Internet Explorer 11. Okay, and all, have you worked in an organization? You see in your desktop there will be multiple different kind of browsers. Have you seen that? There'll be Edge, Microsoft Edge. There will be Mozilla. There will be a Google Chrome. Have you noticed that? Anybody? Have you noticed
Yes.
that in your office,
Mm-hmm.
in your laptop? There are multiple kind of browser. Have you noticed? Have you wondered why are we having so many browsers there?
I mean, some browsers are helpful in terms of our privacy. Like
Yeah.
if you talk about um, Google, we have one option, I think, is for personalized web browsing, and
Yeah.
it also helps in certain tasks.
Yeah.
Like it helps us to open some certain types of websites, or it helps in speeding our, I mean, web browsing, stuff like that.
Mhm. Yep. Very good. Thank you, Said. Hi,
Some
Nikita. Go
browsers
ahead.
are not application compatible. So that is why we have so many browsers.
Okay, can you explain me a little bit more on that for me, please, Adi? I like the way you
Yes,
answer it, but I want to know
some
more.
web applications,
Yeah,
let us say, if you take in a retail, some web applications are not compatible with the Internet Explorer. Some are
yeah,
compatible with the Mozilla. Some are compatible with the Google. So that
yeah,
is the reason why we have different kinds of
exactly,
browsers.
exactly. Very good, very good. Keep it up, Adi. Yes, Nikita, go ahead.
So we have those the different the different on our computers in theirs, because some of like the workplaces, they have also tried to restrict opening those particular websites in there.
Yeah,
So they don't want you to have access to them at work, so that
yeah,
you don't open to companies stuff in there, and you
yeah,
do your private stuff in there basically.
yeah, 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 yeah. So obviously, there's a lot of restrictions. But really, the reason is there are at least three or four browsers they want to give at your convenience, because you know how sometimes some applications don't open. You go and open in Chrome every day, Internet Explorer. Suddenly, that application did not open Internet Explorer, and you ask your manager, "Hey, why is it not opening?" Then your manager will try in a different browser, and you try a different browser, it works. Have you noticed that? Might not work in some application. Sometimes the work application which used to always work in Internet Explorer, it doesn't work today for whatever reason. Then you open the same application in a different Chrome or Edge or Mozilla, anywhere, it opens up. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
That's because we don't want the business to stop. That's why we have four browsers over there, because you can try either or, so that you can keep your business going. If I give you only one internet browser and that crashes, now we don't know what to do. The business is done for the day, and we are incurring a lot of loss. So it's IT team's work is that to make sure the business goes continues without any stopping. Okay, and so for example, a company is using IE11. Okay, so we decided, all the applications which are running in IE11, The IE11 is pretty competitive, complicated. There's a lot of runtime issues, and so we decided let's go to Internet Explorer 10. We were migrating. So all we had to do is every application which was opening in IE11, now we want them to open in IE10. So we had to code it to IE10 and Internet Explorer 10, and then we ordered to test it and to make sure all the applications are running. These are IT infrastructure projects. Okay, if I come across and say, "Hey, Sudesh, I am from the sales team. We have this tool which we use our agents for sales. We want to add one more feature so that we can send this code to the client," and that's a business project. Do you see the difference? Do you guys understand the difference? I'll give you one more example. Have you guys heard about Microsoft Exchange? It's a cloud tool. Anybody? Yeah? Okay, very good. Thank you. See, you know how you can open the Outlook on your laptop, right? On-prem on your laptop. We can also have a cloud version of it too. In larger organizations, what happens? They have their own servers and everything, storages and everything, but they are working for many 30, 40 years, 50 years. So they continue to use the Outlook server space. It slows down. There's a lot of applications which are not useful. It catches a lot of storage space. So say you're migrating, the IT director said, we want to migrate to Microsoft Cloud. We want to have the Outlook to cloud so that all the employees can use the cloud version of Outlook so that it can save time. And that is an infrastructure project. So there's a possibility of you is highly high in working in infrastructure projects that you have to understand. Okay, and that is IT systems you see here. And these IT systems are used by your customers. It can be used by external staffs. Sometimes these IT systems are also powered by external software applications also. And there are many times you will be using middlewares like APIs to really how to integrate with the third-party systems. We're going to do a lesson in it. We're going to understand how to document requirements and APIs as a BA. There are some very few key things you need to know as a BA. We will be learning that. And there are customer support tools which are used by customer support stakeholders. So this is how the whole ecosystem looks like. I'm showing in a very high level so that you get to understand how as a BA you need to look on the IT side and also on the business side. Are you guys with me so far? Any questions? I'm talking for a while. Just want to check everybody's doing. Can you give me a thumbs up? Just use an emoji from the bottom. Everybody good?
The IT business stakeholders are the developers.
No, sir. We are the IT team, right? So situations comes where we have to enhance the current IT infrastructure. So we are presenting that case to the IT directors, and the IT directors has to get approved the budget from the board of directors. So they have to prove the point. Why do we have to make these changes? So these are the projects which comes the money comes from the IT is been allocated for them every year. Every year there's a budget is allocated for the IT team
So
for
if I'm
maintenance.
not wrong, the budget is being approved by the project manager. It's not our concern.
Budget is not approved by project manager. It is approved by senior leaders. Project manager's job is to get the budget approved by get the approval from them, but he is not the person who approves. If I understand you right.
Correct. So in terms of IT stakeholders, we are the IT stakeholders.
Yes, sir. We are in IT projects. It's our responsibility. There is no on the business side. We are accountable. See, this is how it is, right? For example, uh, I'm sure you drive a car. You need to maintain your car, right?
Exactly.
You buy a car and you're using year after year. You think you can keep driving without any issues? When there's a small issue coming up, we have to fix it, right? And we want to see, and your mechanic says, "Sir, if you use this," it happened to me recently. I had a kind of engine noise was coming. Then I realized that the bearings in the wheel and the brake shaft was we had to change it, and I did not know it. I'm not a mechanic, but one of my regular place where I go for a mechanic, he said, "Sir, you got to do that. This is a new thing. You need to do it. It'll be good." And since the time I changed those parts, my car is it's lovely. I like to go for a drive. It's very smooth. So what I'm saying is to run the IT system, it requires maintenance. Technologies gets obsolete. We want to have a scalable, robust, future-centric, IT team. That's very important. So projects will come from the IT team. It will also come from the business team. So as a BA, when you go into a project, you start into a project. The first thing they will give you access is to the business IT business shareholders for you. So when you create a share folder, and you have to create one folder for the projects, and you will create a folder for the. Let me show you more whiteboard. Give me a second. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. See, I said there are two kinds of projects, right? So as a BA, when you go into a project, the first thing is, oh, sorry, I don't want to use red. Red looks deadly.
Mhm.
Let's use something nice and pleasant. Okay, let's say you're creating a folder. This is a BA folder, project folder. Okay, you have to maintain a folder for every project. For example, you're doing a project A and you have a project B and you have do a project C. So you need to have a folder for all the projects. So any documents, whatever you're documenting, process flow diagrams, your RTMs, requirement traceability metrics, your user stories, acceptance criteria, any diagrams, artifacts, whatever it is, it has to be in the respective folders. Okay, you cannot put the project A documents into project B. No, you don't do that. It has to be in the respected folder. One. Secondly, you need to identify business project from IT projects. So when you are creating folders, you have to create two kinds of folders. One for the IT projects, one for the business projects. For example, you are creating two folders, one for IT project, one for business project. Let's say you are doing two business projects, then you'll have two folders under that, A and B. And let's say you have let's say you have two projects from IT side, then you have to create two folders for that. So any kind of project, you have to differentiate that always. Okay, you will have one folder for business, and any kind of an open all for every project. You have to create a folder like this and collect all the documents separately. Same in the IT side. Are you guys able to understand what I'm saying?
I would appreciate if you can give me like an example what can be an IT project and what can be a business project. Any example?
Okay.
Real
Yeah,
life?
I was just saying that. I'll repeat again. So let's say what kind of business are you working, sir?
Right now,
Yeah.
mm, I was recently working with a telecommunication company.
Okay, telecom company. Give me a department from the telecom company.
HR?
HR department. This is HR department. So let's say an HR department wants a new system. Okay, and they want to deploy ServiceNow HRSD module in HR department. That's a new project from the HR department. So that is a business project, Sayed.
Okay.
That is a HR. And give me one more department from your organization.
Um, Office desk or development team and
No. Departments, business side departments.
business sides, sales.
Sales department. Let's say the sales team comes up and says, we want to use a feature where we can bundle all the products. So you got a project for the sales team. So that's a business project. Okay. Now this is an example for business side. Business side, HR team, marketing, product team, sales team, payroll team, facilities, anything other than IT, everything comes in the business side. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's discuss about IT team. So the IT director, he decides that, okay, he tells that guys, the business side, when you're working, you are using Outlook and everything, right? You're using mailbox, right? We have
Yeah.
decided we are going to take all the mailbox, instead of having an on-premise Outlook, we are going to have we're going to migrate it to cloud, migrating exchange, so that the business community people can use it more conveniently, and we can have save a lot of space and cost. So we decided to go to cloud, Microsoft Exchange. We're going to cloud. So a new project is emerging from the IT side to enhance the IT infrastructure. So any kind of project which is coming to enhance the IT structure, IT infrastructure, that is going to be IT project. Any kind of project which comes from the business side to enhance the business department, it's going to be a business based projects.
Okay, got it.
I'm clear. This is very important, right? Hi Nikita, are you raising a question?
Yeah. So my question over here is, we are the IT business analyst here, right? So do
Yeah.
we have access to other projects from different areas where they're coming from, even, so that we are able to segregate into different allocation? That I mean, we are able to segregate in different boxes in there, or we just get our own IT projects in there as an IT business analyst? That's
Nikita,
what
it's
I
a
just
very
want to
good.
understand, this basic question.
It's a very good question you ask me. I want to tell you, in a real world scenario, you will only have time to solve your projects.
Yeah.
Okay, you will
Hmm.
only have time to document your projects. You will know in a meeting when you come, all the BAs. I do that. I bring all the BAs together and I conduct, and we discuss about what are the various projects going on at a very high level, so that everybody knows what is going on in the organization. I do that, but as a BA on the field, when you are working, you can only know, okay, what are the various projects are going on, but you really won't know what's going in. You won't have the time to know it, actually speaking. So it is very important raising the same questions. On the same note, what I want to say is, you want to work in the boundaries of your project. It's very important, because you don't want to get distracted, because you have so much of contribution to do in your own you yourself will be working in 3 or 4 projects. So it's very important that every time you go to a project, you have to wear that hat and forget about the other project which you're working on. So you will be creating folders for your own projects and saving all the artifacts in it. Whenever you are asked to do a task, you complete the task and you save the task in that particular folder, and you message your manager and say that, hey Nikita, by the way, I have created the process flow diagrams and I have saved it in the folder. Could you please check and give me feedback and let me know if everything is okay? Because your manager is not going to come every time and review it whenever you want. They are also using, but working on different projects. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I know. I like the way you're thinking, because I see that you're thinking like a manager. I want to know what's going in the organization. You will get to know, because there will be times you will be coming up as a team, and different BAs will be coming up. Your managers will be sharing what's happening in the organizations. You will know at a very high level. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I just
you
was thinking from that point of view, that
know,
because
and
when you started to
yeah,
segregate the different from
yeah,
business side and the IT side
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
so was just wanting to find out. Thanks.
Very good. On the same note, what I want to tell you is, there's something called change management project. Change management project means, when we about to do a project and we do a scope analysis and solution, we understand there is a new need came up. When we're trying to, this is how it is, right? When we start doing planning, sometimes, have you noticed, back home, we have a habit of building our homes. In North America, building a home is a very expensive thing, but back home we do that just like that, right? But remember, let's say we decided to build a house for like 400,000 or 200,000 or something. But when you start building and building and building, planning and planning, the budget goes from 200 to 400,000. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that you wanted to renovate your home, and you thought
Yeah.
you want a budget of 30,000, and by the time it finishes, it's 70,000. Have you noticed that? And sometimes you would have noticed that, hey, listen, we don't have the budget for it. Let's do it next year. Have you done that? And that's called as change management project. Sometimes you will be in a change management project which originated from a different project because of the planning, which they were not able to accommodate it at that time. Because remember, I talked about urgent versus requirement. It's going to do in future. So that's what I'm talking about. When you go into a new project and trying to go through the project decks and understand what this project is all about, you will know where this project originated. Sometimes it's directly a new project starting from a client. Sometimes it's originated from a different project also. It's a change management project, we call it. Great questions. See, the more questions you ask me, you unlock me more. I can share more information. Okay, so it's good for you to ask more questions to me, and I'll be happy to answer more. Okay, so you guys understood this part, right? All right, so that's great. So I also want to talk about understanding business domain, which I will do it in a later session. But I have something more important to show you today. Okay, I want to show you how a life of a day in a BA will look like. Are you guys interested to know how a day of a BA will look like? How many guys are interested? Give me a thumbs up. Don't you want to know how your job will look like in a day from morning till evening? Are you not curious? Who's curious? Who's not curious? I hope everybody curious. You better be curious, okay? All right, so let's go up there. I'm excited for you. So let me show you something, and I want to show you and help you guys understand this, okay? So this is how a typical day will look like. A lot of things might not make sense right now. I'm going to cover everything, but I will try to explain it to the best of my abilities. And I want you guys to visualize with me. Imagine you are in a job. Your job, most of your days will go into meetings. I'll tell you that. A lot of planning goes into BAs. We play a very important role in planning. We learn a lot from these planning meetings, and that's a lot of planning leads to the solutions and better systems or better outcomes. So you'll be spending a massive time. You will see you have colleagues and spouses who are in IT. You will see most of them in meetings. All right. Your day might start with something called stand-up meeting. It's a 15 minutes time box meeting where a PM or a scrum master will conduct a meeting where we're trying to identify this meeting will only come when the project is started. Development has already started. Okay, development has already started. Only then you will have this Scrum stand-up meeting where the project owner wants to know what happened yesterday, what are you guys doing today, and what are the challenges are we facing? The three things, three impediments we call it. You start up with a day like that. It's only 15 minutes meeting. As a BA, it's very important for you to be in that meeting because your manager is going to ask you. They're not going to be in these my meetings. They're going to ask you, hey, what's going on with this project? And your input, your findings from this stand-up meeting can really save your day. And you can tell what's going on in your project. You can share with your managers. Backlog refinement is nothing but this is a document where you have captured all the requirements, and the requirements are going through refinement, which means they're trying to sort those requirements to understand those requirements. Can we build these requirements? The challenges they are finding to building those functionalities. We will talk more. It's a requirements document. User story means requirements. You're writing from a documenting from a user point of view, elaborating those things to your developers, helping them understand what is the user trying to do, in which system application they're trying to do, what transaction. As a user, like a statement will be simple like, as a user, I would like to, I would like to use the banking system to download my statement for the last 30 days. So we want to know who's the user, we want to know who's the system which we're using and what transaction are we trying to do. And we as a BA, we need to write that effectively, and we need to help the developers and the software testing people understand what the user really wants. Then we're talking about, let's say around 11 o'clock, you're doing a stakeholder collaboration requirements for some other project. You're meeting some stakeholders, you're documenting some requirements from them, you're having those meetings, and by 12 o'clock you're going for lunch. You never book meetings in lunch break for anybody, okay? That's not good. You're literally making them come in the lunch break. You never want to, if you see, if you're booking a break, when you're booking let's say a meeting, you never want to look in the calendar. If you see there's a lunch, never book a meeting there, okay? 1 p.m., let's say you are having a meeting with the development team, QA teams, and you're giving a clarification. They're asking some few questions on some functional requirements, user requirements. You're clarifying for them. Defect triage means once we develop a particular functionality, the testing teams get into it. They start testing. They find defects. like the login functionality is not working, the download functionality is not working, this page is taking a lot of time to download. So there's a defect triage. We will learn that during the training. So you're clarifying it on that. 3 p.m. you have agile ceremonies, means meetings. Agile is nothing but a software development lifecycle. It's a kind of a software development lifecycle. We'll talk about it. And we are doing a planning, review, and retrospective, which means planning how are we going to, which are the features are going to go into development. And then we're talking about review, based on what we have developed so far, how did it go, and retrospective, what is going well. And these are documentation activities you're doing. And by 4 o'clock, let's say, you are documenting in requirements tools like Jira, Confluence, and dashboards. You are entering the requirements over. You're making sure that you're identifying which functionalities are built, which functionalities are yet to be released, and you're doing all this kind of documentation. By 5 p.m., you're pretty much wrapping up most of the days. This is how a typical day will look like. All right. Now, I also have another document over here which I wanted to share. I want to take only 10 minutes, but I want to elaborate this, right? Remember the first one I said stand up. In a stand up meeting, you might be with developers, QAs, Scrum Masters, and product owners, and you're they will be sharing what was accomplished yesterday, what was planned today, and any blockers. Blockers means is there any challenges? So if the development team has any challenge in building, it is the project manager's job or the scrum master jobs to give them the help, give them the resources, clarifying the doubt so that they can continue to build. We don't want the projects to stop. Backlog refinement. This is nothing but you got the requirements. We're going to make sure with the help of product owners, with a lot of team members, we want to make sure we have the requirements are refined so that we can go ahead and use them for development. There are other terminologies here like invest and acceptance criteria. I will talk to you about these things when we go into that software development phase. Then you have meetings with stakeholders, interviews, workshops where you're capturing requirements. And then you have lunch break, enjoying your lunch, and you come back after lunch and you're working with developers and testers. They have questions with test cases. You're helping them understand and validating to make sure the developers or testers are understood what they need. They understand the assignment. They understood the users. They understood what user functionality they need to build in the system. They understood it. Okay, you're getting the clarity. Edge cases and test scenario is a kind of way we document the test cases, and these are sample ones. When we come there, we will go in deep into that. Agile ceremonies mean different meetings. You have a certain role to play for sprint planning meeting. It's an amazing meeting where we will plan. We take a stock of the situation, how many functionalities we're going to build, how many resources we have, how many hours of manpower we have, and there are important things you need to contribute to the sprint planning meetings, sprint review meetings, sprint retrospective meetings. Then you have documentations, process flows, diagrams, functional specification, business rules you will be documenting. So these are the various things you will do, and I will be teaching all of those things. Every time we finish these phases, I will give you some interview questions. Particularly, I will give you a bunch of interview questions by the end of the program also. But let's say we're talking about production. So I will be giving you production based interview questions. So let's say we're talking about you know documentation of user stories, product backlog grooming. We're talking about requirements elicitation. We're talking about production. We're talking about deployment. So every time we talk about a certain phase, I will give you a case study. You may do a homework, and I will also give you interview questions on that. So you will continue to understand how am I going to prepare myself if I get a question like this. All right. Yes, Syed, go ahead.
My question is that if we talk about the sprint planning and release planning, this is not the job of a product owner.
No, sir. It's not a job of product owner. Product owner is a personality who represents the business. He may be from the business team, or he may be from the from IT side also. See, BA also is product. It's a very big. I tell you something, in IT world, people do different roles. Okay, there is nothing like I will not do this, I will not do that. It's not like that. There are sometimes product owners will jump into release activities also. They also engage in there. Okay, so there is no set rules as like I cannot do it. Say some projects BAs, I work as a BA. In some places they ask me to go ahead and train the user community, and I work in the release management too. Okay, and I also work. Sometimes they ask me to work as a project manager too. Sometimes I work as a product owner when there is no product owner in a certain company. So you'll be learning everything here. But I'm saying that when you go into the field, when you go into the work job, you are having a different kind of responsibilities. Okay. Yes,
So
sir.
what I understand is that our role as a BA is overlapping with project manager,
Of
scrum
course.
master, product owner as well.
Yes, sir. We do. We do. One of my students, I trained her. We trained her for BA. She was interviewed for BA, but when went into the project, they didn't even have a proper agile methodology there. And interviewing her, and they understood that she understands the framework. She became the project manager and the BM also. You know, play a dual role. In some, it will be smaller projects, not necessarily bigger projects, but you can be a PM and BA in the same project.
So and related to this question, so IT director can be a senior business analyst as well, or no? It's a different field.
So, sir, IT director is a director. Junior, director is a senior role. Right?
Okay,
IT director is a senior role. Okay, at that level, he's not doing a business analyst job. It's a junior level for him.
perfect. So
You don't
it's a
see
different.
directors doing BA job. No, they don't do that.
I mean, a BA can be a director or no? IT director?
Well,
No.
if he's promoted in the future, he'll become a director. He can be IT director in the future. He can become a senior manager, and he can become a project manager. He can become an account manager. He can directors. A lot of BAs move and they have gone up in the ladder, become directors too. If that's what you
And,
want to do,
and
nothing is
once
stopping you.
perfect. Once in we are, I mean, BA in, for example, let's say ServiceNow field. So in the later future, can we switch it to something different, like in healthcare industry or finance industry, stuff like that?
Like I said, ServiceNow is an infrastructure tool. It is in every domain. It's in
Okay.
every domain. Every
And
domain. So nothing is stopping you. Let's say, for example, let's say you're working on a healthcare in a healthcare project. Let's assume, okay, you're working in a healthcare project as a senior BA, deployment, everything, and you see an IT director role coming up there, and you applied, and you got it, and you switched. And that's how people move around. Nothing is stopping you. What they want for that role is you need to have practical knowledge in deployment. That is where today career is. That's where the money is. You understand what I'm saying? So, you can move from IT to business side too. A lot of people do that. It's not like you got to be in IT forever. There's nothing is stopping you.
so, and ServiceNow is also used in the banking field as well.
Yes, sir. Every field, sir. Every field. It's nothing domain specific about it.
And it's not going to be like vanish out near future soon.
That's a great question. I've done a lot of webinar on it. You can check in my YouTube channel also. Um, ServiceNow is a very latest career. Okay. It's been around for a while. It used to be a IT help desk kind of ticketing tool, but lately they are becoming like SAP. Have you heard about SAP? There's a lot of modules they have. Like they also ServiceNow also have modules like HRSD, field services modules, and marketing modules. They have different modules now, and almost 80% of the companies in Fortune 500 companies they use that because the technology which ServiceNow is giving is very unique. If you work in an organization, there is IT department, separate floor is there. They have all the whole application servers going on. But in ServiceNow, you can get the whole IT services in cloud. Okay, so where the organization is spending $100 for IT services, now they are spending only $50. That saves money. So there's a lot of companies are moving towards IT services. They're deploying. So there's a lot of deployment going on between 2025 and 2026. Globally, almost 1.5 million people are going to join in ServiceNow field. It is a career where growth is tremendous, but there's a labor shortage, talented people. Deployment does the supply is less. That's why I'm suggesting you guys to move that side. ServiceNow career is very trending if it is in your resume, and if you really know how to work as an administrator and you also know how to deployment in it as a BA, you're good.
Perfect. Appreciate.
Thank you. Great question, everybody. It's 1.5 hours already. I don't want to take session more than that. I do want to tell you, our training is practically started. Okay, it started from Monday, and this is going to go for the next 2 months. And it's usually it might exceed by 2 more weeks. I would say 2 months and 2 weeks. I try to complete it. My goal is to make sure end of third month you guys are in the job market. That is what is my target. Okay, I don't want to make you guys sit for 4 months and study. No. So there's a lot of things you'll be doing parallelly with me, and you have to follow my mentorship. And I will be providing all the support for you to become a ServiceNow BA. That's what I'm going to do, right? The first 3 sessions are complimentary, and then from Monday, this weekend, you can start registering, and throughout next week, people will be joining. So you are going to get a registration form, and you can fill up this form, and one of our team members will give you a call and clarify your doubts. I do want to tell you for Canadian folks, it is 1700 CAD. You are getting BA in class training, and you're getting ServiceNow training in a self-paced training, because ServiceNow in class training is also $1,700. I don't want to pay you twice. I can offer you in self-paced. It's absolutely free. A course which is worth 1700, I'm going to give you for free. The 1700 for ServiceNow, and you are learning in-house online with me on BA framework, because you're going to go as a BA. It's very important for you to learn both. So I will be guiding you. And for the guys from the US, it's going to be 1200 USD. And both of you guys can pay in 3 installments. So you can pay the first installment and register yourself. And so which is going to happen throughout this weekend. And my training days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. EST. Okay. Any questions? Eddie, you have a question, Eddie?
Yes, I do. I see there are many job opportunities for service now, but I see that they are looking only for more than 5 years experience. So what
Yeah.
about people like us who have taken training from you and immediately go into the market without experience? How would
Yeah.
we consider?
Yeah. Like I said, I think you asked this question before also. I was telling you that I really have to look into your experience, your prior experience. Okay. As a business analyst, like I said, there are different kind of roles out there. Okay. And this is a conversation which is very unique for you. So we need to discuss it offline to see, if you can use any transferable skills, or you can do capstone project from us, from our ServiceNow team, and you can put that in your resume and you can market it. But I would like to talk to you in detail, Adi, and discuss this. When are you available tomorrow? Just message me or email me. We can get on a phone call and we can discuss this. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Any other questions before I close this day? You guys been a great audience. Yeah.
Yes, actually, is it possible that after you just leave for this meeting, we can continue
Yes,
one-on-one?
sir. Yes, sir. I will just leave my phone number here so that you all can, save it. This is my number, say 647-221-0315.
Okay.
Okay. You can just give me a quick call, and after this meeting, and we can get on a call. Okay.
Sure, perfect.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. I invite you all for the session on Monday. You will get invites, and let's get on it. This is a one-time life opportunity. Job market is really good, and I'll be very glad to help you out and mentor you to become a IT service business analyst in ServiceNow technology. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Yes, Faith, go ahead.
Can we
Last minute
please
question.
get the recordings for today? I would like to
You're gonna
just
get it. Yeah,
hear the
yeah, you're gonna
calls.
get it, guys. Recordings we are sending recordings. It might be in your spam. Please check it out.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
already
I
there.
need to
I know
study.
some guys are not getting it. It's already in your spam. Please check it out. Okay, and I will also try to call you guys this weekend. And this is one of my practice I do is I speak to you guys one on one, try to get to know you, and give you a plan, a strategy way before you even get into this. I would like to have this conversation. So please expect a call from me, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. See you all Sunday evening at 8 p.m. EST. Sorry, Monday evening at 8 p.m. EST. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Feliz. Good night.
Bye.